Well, let's talk now to Kerry Brown, Director of the Lau China Institute at King's College in London. Kerry, welcome back. Good to see you. What's the significance of the timing of President Xi's meetings with world leaders ahead of this war commemoration?
Yeah, I suppose the geopolitics now is very exceptional, and everything is sort of overshadowed by what the United States is doing at the moment. So all of the countries that have been present in Tianjin at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting in different ways have issues about their relationship with the global system and with America. And so I suppose this is really a kind of non-aligned group of countries trying to work out where they can work together, where they might not be able to work together, what their common ground might be. And so I suppose that is an unprecedented situation. I mean, I don't think in the past any of them had the kind of common issues with dealing with the United States, which at the moment is putting, 50% tariffs on India, is obviously putting a great deal of pressure on Russia over Ukraine, is in the middle of big trade negotiations with China, and also, of course, still has a very, very big interest in North Korea. So, you know, this is a kind of incredible mix of different things, but the common thing is the problem with what to do about America's evolving role under, President Trump, who's very much centred and focused on American interests above all others.
That's the here and now, and perhaps a glimpse into the future. Let's talk briefly about the past. I wonder how you think China views its role in observing and commemorating its World War II history.
Indeed. Well, 10 years ago there was a big military parade for the 70th anniversary. This is the 80th anniversary of the end of the Sino-Japanese War, the end of the war in Asia. I think at that time, and definitely this time, the kind of narrative was really about how China in particular had been an ally to, the United Kingdom, the United States and other powers against fascism. And that was the sort of common cause, which I think is sometimes forgotten with all of the sort of political issues in recent years. People stress the differences, but this historic link is still very, very important. We celebrate the fact that in the First and the Second World War, Chinese soldiers and Chinese logistic supporters were involved in the European struggle, and of course Europeans were involved in the struggle in China. So I think it's one of the kind of things where we kind of can celebrate a sort of historic link, a very strong historic link in modern times. Of course, today it also reinforces the fact that China is an extremely important military power in the Asia region. Some people, of course, have very different views about that, but it's still something we have to, kind of factor in the global order, that China is a significant player with, a very significant military, and that we need to know about that. We need to understand China's aspirations in the modern world.
Briefly, how should we remember, commemorate and describe the experience of China during the Second World War? China
lost 20 million people in the Second World War. I mean, it was a massive sacrifice. And its war against the fascist leadership in Japan at that time, was obviously a hugely significant part of that conflict. I think the Chinese at the time felt that, that contribution wasn't really understood. I think today, obviously, we have much more information, very good books written about that period, where we can really understand China was an ally. It was an ally at a key moment in modern history, and we should never forget that.
Kerry, thank you for that. Kerry Brown, the Director of the Lau China Institute at King's College in London.